Hey, 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 English learners. Welcome back to the Daily English Podcast, your favorite place to learn real English, easy English, everyday English, the kind of English you actually use in real life.
Yes. Welcome back, everyone. We are so happy you are here with us today. This is the podcast where we talk like real people, share real stories, and help you feel comfortable and confident in English.
I'm Corey,
And I'm Orus.
and together we are your two English friends, not your teachers with a big stick.
Just your friends who really want to help you grow.
Exactly. No boring grammar rules today. Just real talk, real English, real life.
So, Orus, can I ask you something a little personal today? Uh-oh. Okay, go ahead.
Have you ever changed your plan just because you were scared of what someone would think?
Oh, Corey, every single day.
Same. Me too. And that, my friends, is exactly today's topic.
Yes, today we are talking about why you care so much and how to stop.
Big topic. Real topic.
Very real, because almost all of us do this. We change our words, we change our clothes, we change our plans, all because of one small, quiet question in our head.
What will they think of me?
That question. It follows us everywhere, to school, to work, even to the coffee shop.
But don't worry, listeners. We are not here to make you feel bad. We are here to help you understand this feeling and slowly, gently learn to care a little less.
And of course, along the way, we will learn a lot of useful English words and phrases.
Listen carefully, repeat when you can, and enjoy the conversation.
And before we go further, a small favor.
Yes, if you enjoy this podcast, please click like. Please subscribe to Daily English Podcast, and please share this episode with one friend who is learning English.
Yes, share it with that friend who says, I understand English, but I am scared to speak it. This episode is for them too.
Oh, and one more quick thing. We are now on Spotify. If you like listening on the go, search Daily English Podcast on Spotify and follow us there too.
And we just started our Facebook page as well. Come say hi, join the community, and practice your English with other learners in the comments.
We'll drop the links in the description. Come find us.
Stay until the end today. We have a special announcement and you are not going to want to miss it.
Yes, something we think is going to help your English learning so much. So do not click away. The best part is coming at the end.
Okay, are you ready?
Let's go.
So, Orus, let's start with a simple question. Why do we care so much about what other people think?
Good question. I think it starts small. Maybe someone laughed at you one time. Maybe a teacher said something. Maybe a friend made a joke.
In that one small moment, it doesn't leave, right?
No, it stays. We have a word for that. Linger. Linger. Linger.
When something lingers, it stays longer than it should. It doesn't go away quickly.
For example, that comment from my teacher still lingers in my mind, even after 10 years.
Or, the smell of coffee lingered in the kitchen all morning.
So, linger is for smells, for memories, and also for feelings.
Say it with us, listeners. Linger.
Good. Now, here's something interesting. That one small moment doesn't just stay in one place. It moves, it travels to other parts of your life.
We have a nice word for that too. Seep. S-E-E-P. Seep.
When something seeps, it moves slowly, quietly, through small spaces, like water through a small crack in a wall.
For example, that old fear seeped into every part of my life, even my hobbies.
Or, water seeped through the window when it rained all night.
So seep is slow, it's quiet. You don't notice it at first.
Right, and that is exactly how this fear of judgment works. It starts small in one classroom, one moment, then it seeps into your job, your friendships, your English speaking.
Ah, English speaking. Yes, many of our listeners feel this. They know English, they understand English, but when it's time to speak,
They freeze. Freeze means you stop completely. You cannot move, you cannot talk.
yes, I knew the answer, but I froze in front of the class.
Good example. Can you share a personal moment, Orus? A time you froze?
Oh, many times. But I remember one clearly. I was in a meeting, and I had a good idea. I wanted to share it, but I thought, what if they think it's a bad idea? And I froze. I said nothing.
And how did you feel after?
Terrible, because later someone else said almost the same idea and everyone loved it.
Ouch.
Yes, ouch is right. That is a very small word we use for pain, physical pain or emotional pain. Ouch, that hurts. Or, ouch, that memory still hurts.
Good one. Okay, so we understand where this fear comes from. Now let's talk about what it feels like today as adults.
Right, because now it's not just one classroom, it's everywhere. Work, family, social media, even ordering food at a restaurant.
When you feel this fear strongly, your body reacts. Your heart beats faster, your chest feels tight. We have a word for this feeling: anxious. Anxious. Anxious.
When you feel anxious, you feel very worried inside. Your mind is busy, your body is not relaxed.
For example, I feel anxious before I have to speak English in front of new people.
Or, she was anxious about the interview all morning.
Say it with us. Anxious. Good. Now, sometimes this anxious feeling gets very strong, very fast. We call that to freak out. To freak out.
To freak out means to suddenly feel very scared or very stressed. Your brain says, this is too much.
For example, I freak out every time I have to answer the phone in English.
Or, he freaked out when he lost his passport at the airport.
It sounds dramatic, but we use this phrase a lot, even for small things.
Like ordering coffee.
Yes, some people freak out just ordering coffee in a new language. One, coffee, please? Small. No, medium.
We've all been there.
So your body feels anxious, your brain freaks out, and then what happens? You do something very common. You hold back.
Hold back. That means you stop yourself from doing or saying something you really want to do.
For example, I wanted to ask a question, but I held back because I was shy.
Or, don't hold back. Tell me what you really think.
Good. So now we have three words together. You feel anxious, you almost freak out, and then you hold back. That is the full little story of fear.
And it happens in seconds, so fast we don't even notice the pattern.
Now, Orus, let's talk about a very interesting idea. This idea of the audience.
The audience? Like people watching a show?
Exactly. Many of us feel like there's a big audience always watching us, judging every word, every move.
We can call this the invisible audience. Invisible means you cannot see it, but you feel it there.
For example, I feel like there's an invisible audience judging my English accent.
That's such a good example, because so many learners feel exactly that.
But here's a helpful thought. Most people are not actually watching you that closely. They are busy with their own lives, their own worries.
Right. We can say they are the main character of their own movie, not yours.
Main character. That's the most important person in a story. In your own life, you are the main character. But in someone else's life, you are just a small part.
A small part. Maybe you appear for 2 seconds and then they forget.
So next time you feel that invisible audience watching you, you can say to yourself, I'm not the main character in their movie. They have their own movie.
That's a comforting thought.
It really is. Okay, let's move to another big idea: criticism.
Criticism. Criticism. When someone criticizes you, they say something is wrong or bad about what you did.
For example, my manager criticized my report, and I felt bad all day.
Or, she doesn't like criticism, even when it's helpful.
Criticism can be helpful sometimes. It helps us grow. But sometimes it's just someone's bad mood, and it has nothing to do with us.
Right. There's a nice phrase for this: brush off. To brush off a comment.
When you brush off a comment, you don't keep it in your heart. You hear it and you let it go. Imagine there's dust on your shoulder. You just brush it away with your hand. Gone.
For example, he laughed at my accent, but I brushed it off and kept talking.
Or, I try to brush off small negative comments from strangers online.
That's a great skill to practice, brushing off comments that don't help you.
Yes, some comments you keep because they help you learn, but some comments you just brush off because they say more about the other person than about you.
That's a great point. All right, let's talk about another common habit: performing.
Performing, like acting on a stage?
Yes, but also in real life. Many of us perform a role every day: the good student, the funny friend, the easy, agreeable coworker.
We do this to feel safe, right? To avoid conflict, to avoid judgment.
Exactly. But when we always perform, we stop being our true self. We have a word for the true self: authentic. Authentic. Authentic.
Authentic means real and true, not fake, not a character for other people.
For example, I feel more relaxed when I'm authentic with my close friends.
Or, I want to be more authentic online instead of showing a perfect fake life.
Good. So the opposite of performing is being authentic.
Right, and when you perform too much, life feels uncomfortable. There's a nice phrase for this feeling: walk on eggshells.
Walking on eggshells. Imagine walking on real eggs, very careful, very slow, because you don't want to break anything. When you walk on eggshells, you are extremely careful with your words and actions because you're afraid of upsetting someone.
For example, I walk on eggshells around my strict boss.
Or, I don't want my kids to feel like they must walk on eggshells around me.
That's a strong image. Careful steps, afraid of breaking something.
Yes, and here's a simple truth. When you walk on eggshells for everyone else all the time, you often step on your own heart.
Ooh, that's deep, but true.
So maybe this week, in one small conversation, try one honest sentence instead of the safe one, like, "Actually, I'm tired today," instead of, "I'm fine."
Small honesty, big change over time. Okay, let's talk about another trap: the idea of perfection.
Ah, yes. I will speak when my English is perfect.
Exactly that sentence. So many people say this.
We can say waiting for the perfect moment.
When you wait for the perfect moment, you're always waiting, and you never start.
For example, I keep waiting for the perfect moment to start exercising, but it never comes.
Or, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Just start small today.
It's like saying, I will learn to swim when I already know how to swim. That doesn't make sense, right?
No, it doesn't. You learn to swim by getting in the water, moving your arms, and yes, maybe swallowing a little water.
Same with English. Same with confidence. You don't wait for perfect. You practice and you make mistakes, and slowly you improve.
We have a nice word for this: progress. Progress. Progress.
Progress means small steps forward, not perfect, just better than before.
For example, my English isn't perfect, but I see real progress every month.
Or, progress is more important than perfection.
I love that sentence. Progress over perfection.
Say it with us, listeners. Progress over perfection.
Good job. Okay, now let's talk about something that can really help: building confidence.
Yes, confidence. Many people think some people are just born confident.
like they came out of the hospital already giving a speech.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to my birth.
But really, confidence is not magic. It's more like a muscle.
A muscle. I like that. If you want strong muscles, you don't just think about the gym. You go and you lift again and again.
Same with confidence. It grows with small, brave actions, repeated many times.
We can call one small, brave action a rep. Like in the gym, a rep is one repetition, one time you do the exercise.
For example, saying hello to a stranger is a small rep for your confidence.
Or every time I speak English in a real conversation, that's one more rep.
I really like this idea. You don't need to be confident today. You just need to collect small reps.
Yes, and here's a simple practice for our listeners. Make a small list, 3 lines. Say hi to my neighbor, ask one question in class, leave one comment in English online.
And every time you do one, give yourself a little check mark. That's one rep done. Good job! You're training your English and your confidence at the same time. Now here's another helpful idea, changing fear into curiosity.
Ooh, I like this one a lot. Curious. C-U-R-I-O-U-S. Curious.
When you're curious, you want to know more. You explore, you ask questions, instead of feeling scared.
Fear asks, what if I make a mistake? But curiosity asks, what might I learn?
For example, I was curious about the new software, so I tried it right away.
Or instead of being scared, try being curious about the conversation.
We can even try a small experiment. Experiment, E-X-P-E-R-I-M-E-N-T, experiment.
When you experiment, you try something and observe what happens, like a scientist.
For example, I treated the interview like an experiment, not a test.
When you treat a conversation like an experiment, you don't expect perfection, you expect information.
Even if it goes strange, you still learn something. That's a small win.
A small win. We love small wins here.
Before we move on, I want to share a small personal story about this fear thing.
Please, I love your stories.
So, a few years ago, I was in a language exchange group. Real beginners, real mistakes, very relaxed group. But every single week, I sat in the corner. I listened, I smiled, I said almost nothing.
Why?
Because in my head, I had this whole imaginary conversation. If I speak, I will make a mistake. If I make a mistake, they will notice. If they notice, they will think I'm not smart.
That's a lot of steps for one simple sentence.
It really is. A whole imaginary courtroom just for saying, "Hi, how are you?"
We can call that overthinking. O-V-E-R-T-H-I-N-K-I-N-G. Overthinking.
When you overthink, you think about something too much, more than you need to, often in a worried way.
For example, I overthink every message before I send it.
Or, stop overthinking. Just say the sentence.
So what happened, Corey? Did you keep sitting in the corner forever?
No. One day, the teacher asked a very easy question, and nobody answered. So I just said something. Simple, a little wrong, but I said it.
And?
Nothing bad happened. Nobody laughed. Nobody judged. One person even said, "Oh, that's a good point."
See, that's the funny thing about fear. It promises a disaster, but real life is usually much kinder than our imagination.
Exactly. Our imagination writes a scary movie, but real life is often a quiet, normal Tuesday.
I love that line. Our imagination writes a scary movie, but real life is often a quiet, normal Tuesday.
So next time your brain starts writing a scary movie about a simple conversation, you can gently remind yourself, this is probably just a normal Tuesday.
A normal Tuesday. Simple, calm, nothing dramatic.
Good reminder for all of us. Okay, I want to add one more idea here, something that really helped me personally. It's about labels.
Labels? Like the label on a bottle?
Yes, exactly that idea. A label, L-A-B-E-L. A label is a short word we put on something or someone to describe it quickly.
For example, shy, boring, not good at languages. These are labels people sometimes give themselves.
Right. And once we accept a label, we start acting like it's true, even if it isn't.
For example, I'm just not a confident person, someone might say, and then they stop trying because the label already decided for them.
But here's the truth. A label is just an old story, not a permanent fact.
I really like that. A label is just an old story, not a permanent fact.
You can rewrite the story. Maybe you were shy at 7 years old. That doesn't mean you must be shy forever.
For example, I used to think I was bad at English, but that was an old label. I'm actually improving fast now.
Beautiful example. So today, maybe ask yourself, is there an old label I'm still carrying that isn't even true anymore?
Great question to sit with this week. Okay, Corey, let's slow down a little and talk about something simple and human, comparing ourselves to others.
Ah, yes, comparing. Comparing.
When you compare, you look at someone else's life and measure yourself against them.
They have more followers. They speak better English. They look more confident.
And this really wastes our energy. Social media makes it worse because we only see people's best moments.
Right, we call this the highlight reel. Only the best, most exciting parts, like in sports.
For example, don't compare your daily life to someone's highlight reel online.
Or social media only shows the highlight reel, not the boring real moments.
There's a nice phrase that really helps me. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not who someone else is today.
Say that again, slowly.
Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not who someone else is today.
For our English learners, that means don't compare your English to a native speaker's English. Compare your English today to your English 3 months ago.
Can you understand more now? Can you say sentences you couldn't say before? That is real progress. That's what matters.
Beautifully said, Corey. Okay, one more important topic before we wrap up. The people around us.
Yes, the people we spend time with really affect how we feel about ourselves.
There's a nice phrase, bring you down.
When someone brings you down, they make you feel small or bad about yourself.
For example, I stopped spending time with people who bring me down.
And the opposite is lift you up.
When someone lifts you up, you feel better, more confident, more hopeful after talking to them.
For example, my best friend always lifts me up when I feel anxious about speaking English.
Good example. So, a simple question for you listeners. After you talk to certain people, how do you feel? Lighter or heavier?
That feeling can tell you a lot about who to spend more time with and who to slowly spend less time with.
Great advice. All right, Orus, I think it's time for our word tour.
Yes, let's help our listeners remember all these wonderful words and phrases today.
Okay, take a breath, relax your shoulders, and let's slowly go through today's words together. You can repeat after us if you like.
First word, linger. When something lingers, it stays longer than expected. A memory, a feeling, a smell.
That comment still lingers in my mind. Say it with us. Linger.
Next, seep. When something seeps, it moves in slowly, quietly, through small cracks.
Fear can seep into every part of your life. Seep.
Next, anxious. When you feel very worried and your body is not relaxed.
I feel anxious before speaking in English. Anxious.
Next, freak out. To suddenly feel very scared or stressed.
I freak out when everyone looks at me. Freak out.
Next, hold back. To stop yourself from saying or doing something you really want to.
She held back her question in class. Hold back.
Next, authentic. Real and true, not a fake character.
I want to be more authentic online. Authentic.
Next, walk on eggshells. To be extremely careful, afraid of upsetting someone.
He walks on eggshells around his boss. Walk on eggshells.
Next, brush off. To hear a comment but not keep it in your heart.
I brushed off his rude comment and kept going. Brush off.
Next, progress. Small steps forward, not perfect, just better than before.
Progress over perfection. Progress.
Next, curious. Wanting to know more, exploring instead of fearing.
Try being curious instead of scared. Curious.
Next, experiment. Trying something and observing what happens, like a scientist.
Treat the conversation like a small experiment. Experiment.
Next, highlight reel. Only the best moments, not the full real picture.
Don't compare yourself to someone's highlight reel. Highlight reel.
Next, bring you down and lift you up. One makes you feel small, one makes you feel better.
Choose people who lift you up. Lift you up.
Next, overthinking. Thinking about something too much, usually in a worried way.
Stop overthinking. Just say the sentence. Overthinking.
Next, label. A short word we put on ourselves or others that isn't always true anymore.
That's just an old label, not a permanent fact. Label.
Next, self-talk. The quiet conversation happening in your own head all day.
Try to keep your self-talk kind and gentle. Self-talk.
And last, show up. To actually appear and try, even when you're scared or unsure.
Showing up is already half the work. Show up.
Great job, everyone. That's a lot of useful vocabulary today.
You don't have to use all of them right away. Even 1 or 2 this week is already real progress.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of everything we talked about today.
We talked about why we care so much about what people think. It usually starts small, with one comment, one moment that lingers.
Then it seeps into other parts of our life, making us feel anxious, and sometimes we freak out and hold back.
We talked about the invisible audience and how most people are actually busy with their own lives, their own movie.
We talked about criticism and how we can learn to brush off comments that don't help us.
We talked about performing versus being authentic and how walking on eggshells for everyone else can hurt our own heart.
We talked about waiting for perfection and choosing progress instead.
We talked about building confidence like a muscle, one small rep at a time.
We talked about changing fear into curiosity and treating conversations like small experiments.
We talked about overthinking and how our imagination often writes a scary movie when real life is usually just a quiet, normal Tuesday.
We talked about old labels and how they are just old stories, not permanent facts about who we really are today.
We talked about self-talk and how being your own best friend can quietly change your whole day and your whole relationship with English.
And finally, we talked about comparing ourselves to others and choosing to spend time with people who lift us up.
That's a lot of great ideas for one episode.
It really is. But remember, you don't need to hold on to every single word today. Even one small idea, carried gently into this week, is already a wonderful step forward.
And remember, you don't need to fix everything today. Just pick one small idea and try it this week.
Maybe today you brush off one small negative comment, or maybe you say one honest sentence instead of the safe one.
Small steps, real progress. That's how real change happens.
One last idea before we wrap up, and I think it's a really practical one. It's about the way we talk to ourselves.
Self-talk. Very important.
Self-talk. That's the quiet conversation happening in your own head all day long.
For example, my self-talk today was pretty negative, so I tried to slow down and be kinder to myself.
Or, positive self-talk can really change how your whole day feels.
Here's something interesting. Many of us say things to ourselves that we would never, ever say to a friend.
True. If a friend made a small mistake, would you say, "Wow, you're so stupid"?
Never. I would say, it's okay, it happens to everyone.
Exactly. So why do we say the harsh version to ourselves?
Good question. Maybe it's a habit, an old habit from childhood, from school, from somewhere.
And habits can change, slowly, with practice.
Here's a simple exercise. Next time you notice a harsh thought about yourself, pause and ask, would I say this to my best friend?
If the answer is no, try to say the kinder version instead.
For example, instead of, I always mess up my English, try, I'm still learning, and that's completely normal.
Small change in words, big change in feeling.
We call this being your own best friend. BESTFRIEND.
Being your own best friend means treating yourself with the same kindness you would give someone you love.
For example, try to be your own best friend when you make a mistake in English class.
I really believe this one small habit can quietly change your whole relationship with English, and honestly, with life.
Beautifully said. Okay, one more small phrase before the word tour. Show up.
Show up means to actually appear, to actually try, even if you're scared or unsure.
For example, even though I was nervous, I showed up to the English class.
Or, showing up is already half the work.
I love that. Showing up is already half the work. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to show up.
And you, listener, already showed up today by listening to this whole episode. So good job, seriously.
Yes, that's already something to be proud of. Okay, now it's time for our community question.
Yes, every episode we ask a fun question and we really want to read your answers in the comments.
So today's question is, think about the last time you held back from saying something in English just because you cared too much about what people would think. What happened?
Maybe it was in class, maybe it was at work, maybe it was with a native speaker and you felt shy.
Tell us the story in the comments. Even a short 1 or 2 sentences in English is great practice.
And here's a bonus question, just for fun. What's the first thing you do in the morning?
For me, it's a big glass of water. Then I check my messages.
For me, it's 5 more minutes in bed. Some things never change.
Tell us in the comments, what's the first thing you do in the morning? We really do read every single comment.
And your answer might help another learner feel less alone today.
Okay, announcement time. We have a full collection of English learning PDFs waiting for you right now. Speaking challenges, vocabulary flashcards, conversation workbooks, native speaker phrase guides, IELTS practice packs, and more.
Everything you need to practice English outside of this podcast, all in one place. And right now, 40% off with code DEP40. DEP40.
Link is in the description. Grab it before the offer ends.
And don't forget, follow us on Spotify and come join us on Facebook too. We just launched both, and we would love to have you there with us.
More episodes, more phrases, more community, all in one place. All right, before we say goodbye, let's remember the main idea of today's episode.
You don't need to stop caring about people completely. That's not realistic, and it's not even necessary.
But you can slowly, gently care a little less about the invisible audience and a little more about your real, honest self.
One small brave sentence, one small honest choice, one small rep at a time.
And every time you show up, even a little scared, even a little unsure, you are already doing something brave.
You are already building your confidence one word at a time.
We are so proud of you for listening today and for practicing your English with us.
If this episode helped you, please click like, subscribe to Daily English Podcast, and share it with a friend who needs to hear it.
This was the Daily English Podcast with Core and Orus.
And one final thought before we go. You don't need permission to speak, to try, or to be yourself.
You already have everything you need. You just need one small, brave step today.
Until next time, be a little braver, be a little kinder to yourself, and keep learning.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care, and see you in the next episode.
Your progress doesn't stop here. Click the next video. We have more real conversations, more useful phrases, and more support waiting for you right now.